Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour Reading Show. Host Kelley Brickle is a psychic medium, numerologist, healer, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there is always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour Reading Show, Kelley Brickle.
Hello. We're here from the get-go. Oh, I hear the echo. So we have a mysterious echo. We'll find it. Mercury in retrograde. Hello, Kelley.
Hi, how are you doing, Kelley? I am great. I'm so happy to be here. And I keep hearing that song, I'm so happy to be here. I can't sing. But anyways.
Who's that from?
I don't know, but I'm hearing it in my head. It's so great. I'm like, maybe it's spirit joining us. I don't know.
I'll take it. I love when I have music in my head, but it's hilarious because it's, we're talking about the echo, but it's Kelley and Kelley, so it's natural, right?
Right, we're already echoing each other.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Angela says, hi, Kelley and Kelley. Exactly. Hi, spirit. Hello, Pat. Hello, Angela. Hello, Joanne. Thank you, everybody, for coming on in. We appreciate you being here, and we are just going to welcome you as you come on in. We're going to be going into just some spirit discussion and then readings later. So if you want a reading in a little bit, please stick around, and we'll do that as the show progresses. So we have Albie in the house. Hello, Albie.
Albert, one of my students. And he's an amazing healer, which he did not learn from me. He's a natural. Yes.
Well, that's something you said you're learning about too. Hello, Michelle. You've been going into a lot of healing work lately and understanding that side of the energy.
So yeah. I mean, I started years ago with trance healing. And I would say I don't do it professionally, but I definitely have it in my skill set. And I think at some mediumship readings, I am tuning into their body as well in some psychic readings, and I can feel things. But I started my Reiki journey with Jules Davis because I really wanted to explore the Reiki. And I've got Reiki 1 and 2 certified, and she's coming in November to my shop and doing a 3-day Reiki masterclass for the Usui Reiki Master Holy Fire 3. Yeah, and so, I mean, I might take other healing modalities, but I'm definitely exploring it. I've been putting it on hold for a while, 10 years or more.
I mean, all in due time. There's just so much to do. You're always busy. You're always learning something. It needed time, right? To just fit.
Yeah,
like 30 things.
Yeah, I'm running out of time. I'm forcing myself to take days off because I wasn't. So I literally have the hardest time, but I'm trying to take Monday and Tuesdays off. And literally, I still work. I'm on the computer doing things for social media. Yesterday, I met with a lady who's going to be doing healings in the back. And we set up her station. She has, because we close the store Monday, Tuesday. So she's renting the space out Monday and Tuesdays. And she's amazing. And I'm just surrounding myself with people that I love and think are amazing.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, so you have a store too for everyone who's learning about you. You have a shop, a physical brick and mortar location in Sacramento, California.
It was a lot to take on.
Yes.
As usual, my husband and I just threw ourselves into something, not looking at well, how do we do this? We just figured it out. It's our second store though. We had a store previously in Southern California in Huntington Beach.
Mystical Realms. I remember it.
Yes. And I had no idea what I was doing. And my husband's like, you should open a crystal store. And I found this place and I threw it together. He gave me $50,000. He said, here you go, open up the store. And I was like, okay. And just went with it and made it happen. And it was quite a journey and it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. So this time I kind of did things a little bit different. Yeah.
What did you do different?
Well, I have a bigger store. I focus more on the events and made everything movable so that we can move out the front room so I can make room for events. Because, like, right back here, all of that folds up, and right over there is the kitchen. And then we'll clean all that up, and then everything in the middle center display comes back here organized neatly so people could still shop, and I serve food and wine. So it gives a bigger space for people, and they can shop and enjoy the dems and whatever classes we have. We just had a holistic fair, and that was fun. So I focus more on crystals than books. Last time I had books. This time I realized books aren't really a big seller, and they didn't really move, and you don't make a big profit. So I have a lot of crystals, and they're high grade, high quality crystals. But then I have the tables down the middle, which is like my tumbled stones and raw stones, and we're expanding that to add 3 more tables. Right now, we have 3 long ones, and that's amazing, and I love that. So that's more affordable, and that's like my bread and butter, I would say. People love to come to the stone table and get a tray, and they grab their stone and their crystal and like, the cards, because the cards have, like, the prices, because I charge everything by the ounce, and they come up, and it's like this beautiful array of crystals, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. So
You're making me Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm just really focusing on the crystals this time, in the events.
You're making me, like, move things as I talk to you because I wanna show I have one of your crystals from this,
From Mystical
Yeah.
Realms? Let me see,
Yeah,
let me see.
I mean, it's huge, so I'm, like,
I
moving
probably
things
remember
around,
it, 'cause I remember almost every crystal. I'm weird that way.
Alright, here we go. We gotta be careful, it's big. Alright. Do you remember this guy?
Oh my god. Yes, I do. Oh my god, I only had, like, 1 of those, or 2 of them, I think. Yes. And I
Black
remember when I got it, I thought I was crazy.
Why?
'Cause it's so big, I was like, "Nobody's gonna buy it, it's so big."
I
You know?
did.
I was surprised. That was the thing at the last store. I focused on the books because it was gonna be a metaphysical store, a bookstore with crystals. And all I did was sell crystals. Nobody wanted the books. So
There's just, I think, like, it's so much what goes on when we are connected to the world of energy that
mhm,
people have different phases, like the book phases, the crystal phases, and
mhm.
now, like, everything is so technology based. I know people who used to read and read and read and read, and they can't even focus to sit down and get with the book anymore.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a
I
different
still
type
enjoy a
time.
physical book. To me,
I
I
do.
I love my books. I have quite a collection, and I don't necessarily sit down and read them from front to back, but I definitely, like, peruse through them for information I'm looking for or need. Most of my books are, like, metaphysical books, but I have some that are, biographies. I've read those, and I enjoy those. Like, I love, Echo Bodine's books, and I love, what's his name? Oh my gosh. James Van Praagh. I've read a lot of his books, but I did audiobooks with his mostly in the car while driving, with my son when he was little, and I liked most of them. Some of them I wasn't fond of, but I know he's changed his views. He wrote them a long time ago. But yeah, I love that. I still love to have that physical book. Even if I'm not gonna read it,
I
I
do.
I'm
I
running
definitely
out of
do.
room. I'm running out of room where to put them.
I do. I have there's my bookcase back there with all the books and stuff.
I enjoy
But that
it.
was a very important part for me too, to just it's like a meditation. Like,
Yeah,
how much do you give attention to this world? And
right.
sometimes, when you're sitting down and you're restless, I don't think I was restless. I'm more restless now than I was then. Well, I guess in different ways. But you have this focal point, and you're just like, let's see what other people think about it, because that was
Mhm.
really important to me at the time.
Yeah,
Other people's perspectives, because when I would talk to people around me, they didn't really have much interest in this. Like,
yeah,
they didn't really kind of understand what I was experiencing, and I needed to know that somebody out there believed it so much they wrote a book about it, or this
mhm.
was their life, or I needed to know. So
Yeah.
books are very, very helpful for me.
Yeah, and I'm working on my own book, and whether I
Ooh.
put it together and sell it or not, I don't know, but it's, like, very, I wouldn't say very healing. I had to put it on hold last May. I took a year off. I'm about to get ready to get back into it. I've got 4 chapters written of 12 that I'm planning on writing, but it's emotional, because I'm putting my heart and soul into it. I'm like making myself vulnerable and putting in there like my beliefs, which aren't like necessarily for everybody,
Yes.
and there's a lot against people in the spiritual world. There's a lot of like, I want to say people out there that are going after us, and unfortunately. And so it's nerve-wracking, but at the same time, I have to have faith and trust that my story is going to help others. And that's my goal. And I think that's, why I enjoy books so much, because it's like it's somebody's story and it's a different perspective.
It's really important. I agree. And I think, well, it does so much. If you're writing and if you're an author and you have a story to tell, you're standing up in your story and
Yeah,
saying, "I believe in myself and my experiences enough where I just have to get this out." It's also
yes,
very healing and cathartic.
yes,
Um, any friend that I've known who's written a book, I ask them like, "Well, how's that experience for you? Do you feel more intuitive afterwards?" And they're just like, "Oh yeah, it cracked me open." You
yeah.
know, I was wide open. I released so much stuff. Like I got more in tune. I completely just changed my energy from just I couldn't hide. It was all there.
It's funny because like you've started your healing journey such a young age. Like, how old were you when you started? Like in your 20s?
I started like when I was like 13, 14.
So really
I
young.
would say really like really truly, yeah, yeah, 13, 14.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've always had my gift and always tried to like get rid of it or avoid it like most of my life. Even though I grew up in a very open community in Venice Beach in the 70s and 80s, I still didn't want to be different and tried to, not talk about it, not act like it didn't exist. It wasn't until probably around 30 that spirit started coming to me and really knocking at my door strongly enough to where I couldn't like shove it off as crazy dreams. Because they literally saved my life on, well, so I guess I'd be like, I think it was, no, it was about 27, I'm sorry. Around 27, the first time that I had an experience that I couldn't deny or chalk off to a dream. They saved my life. I had a near-death experience, and my angels, and I've had several as a small child, and I remember, but I started getting to a point where I was thinking it was all in my head or it was my imagination or I made it up or, like those things that you tell yourself because that's how your family tells you, right? But when I had my other near-death experience around, I think, gosh, 24, 25, 26, maybe, my son, I had him at 24, 25, 26, 26 years old. I had another near-death experience, and it was so profound that I found my voice, and I started really embracing my spiritual side and listening to the dreams, and they started taking me down a journey, a path of, like, empowerment,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and that really, like, led me to filing for divorce, from an abusive relationship and going off on my own with 2 kids and taking my power back.
Wow.
And so that was really profound in my life, and then it also led to me making a decision to really trust spirit to show me and guide me to, like, true love and what it is, and that's how I found my husband now, who I actually met years before we got together, and so, at first, I didn't wanna trust it. So this has, like, been my journey, and then, of course, I had my child with my husband now, and he was, like, just like me and brought back all these memories because he was telling me about past lives as soon as he could talk, and he had all these gifts, and he saw spirits like they were people, and he would poke everybody to see if they were spirits or people, and I remember doing all of this and never having anybody to explain it to me, so then I thought, "Oh, I've gotta learn," and I started developing and learning to help him, and that's sort of what kind of I always say it's kind of spirit-led, the whole journey, and that's kind of what my book's about, is just, like, the trauma, that life is and how hard it can be when we really don't follow our true path and we don't listen to our soul's, needs, and I tried to avoid what my soul needed and went down the wrong path, you know? but had
Yeah.
2 beautiful children out of it, and then a third with the love of my life. So, I'm not
Um,
sad about any of it, but I feel like it could have been done differently and maybe better outcomes had I had more of an understanding of my spiritual gifts at a young age. So it wasn't until I was 40 that I really embraced it, and I'm 53 now. So only 13 years that I've really been fully like, "This is who I am. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm passionate about this, and this is my life."
y- when you are open and aware and you believe in yourself, yeah, there are vastly different choices made.
Yeah.
Definitely. I am a big believer within that.
Yeah.
And we open up at different times in our lives. And I feel like um, it's not just across the board. So in some areas, I feel like I'm very aware and I can catch things quite easily and understand things and go, this is this. And I have a lot of confidence.
Yes.
I don't feel like somebody could bulldoze me or tell me otherwise, and I would just know within my heart of heart because I have strength in certain capacities, and I go,
Yep.
"This is me. This is who I am, and I have to do this." In
Yes.
other areas, let's say I have that knowledge, but maybe I don't know how to physically utilize it, or in maybe even other areas, I'm still learning how to bridge certain energies. So
Yeah.
I might be very aware in one area, but not in another. So it is very interesting how we do live, even if we are spiritual or even if we are awakened.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, I feel like the minute you stop learning is the minute you stop growing. So
Yes.
I'm always going to be learning and absorbing all of this information that I'm supposed to, and I'm always going to follow my guidance till the day I die now. I'm never going to give up on it. But that's not to say that I can't still make mistakes, get off track. But to me, that's like still part of the healing, still part of the journey, still part of, like, what we're supposed to do. Like, if I look back at my past and my first marriage and all of those mistakes, I'm not gonna look at them as a mistake. To me, it was like I had to go through that to get to where I am now, and right where I'm at now, I have the most amazing family and love of my life. I get to do what I love. I might not have gotten there had I, you know, not gone through what I went through. It was like I had to go through what I went through to wake me up.
Yes, and those are very scary jumps to go. I'm doing this right now in my life. I don't know how it's gonna go, and we'll see you on the other side, right? It's
Yeah,
truly a death and transformation,
yeah.
with the sense of self, and I feel like within my life, I'm really starting to try to be comfortable with the whole energy of death and creation and understanding. How to utilize that and making sure I don't know, I'm making sure of how I utilize that because there's other people involved and also myself, and yeah, I'm
Yeah.
learning about it more. Definitely learning about it more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How do you feel about the power you wield with creation and transformation, birth and death and all that, with yourself as, a soul with what you've learned and what you go, I'm gonna do this.
I mean, honestly, I'm 53, gonna be 54 this year, and it's really hitting me that, like, at most I have, if I'm lucky, 30 years, maybe I will get 40, and that's not a lot of time. I'm 54, like, it goes quick. So I'm really thinking, like, what's important and what makes me happy and what makes my husband happy. And he's 59. So I'm really looking at life in such a different way now and thinking back to me when I was in my 20s and my mom was my age and my stepdad was my age and the things I took for granted and remembering the moment like I saw that my mom like was aging because like I'm getting there. And it's kind of scary at one point, but at the same point, I'm like, okay, I need to do something now to make sure that I live my life differently than my parents did. I don't want to be sickly. I don't want to be a burden on my family. I want to stay healthy as long as I can. So, and my husband just injured himself and is pretty much like using a
Mhm,
walker or a cane now.
mhm.
And we're both kind of going, we need to make some changes because we're too young in our eyes to be going through this. He's going to be 60 in December. We want the next 20 years of his life and my life to be fun.
Right.
So, I think
Absolutely.
all of this is taking me on this strange journey, and I feel like this year has been such a strange year for business and for everything for us because it's really pushing both of us out of our comfort zone, and I know other people as well. I just think
Yeah.
something astrologically is going on, and, it's really pushing me to make these changes that I've been procrastinating on because, you think that your life is eternal when you're younger. You think that you're gonna be fine and healthy forever when you're younger, and it's not until things start to go downhill that you start to kinda reevaluate what's important. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's what this year's been about for me. Just so much has happened in my whole lifetime that I'm really kind of I feel like looking over everything with a new perspective.
Yeah, yeah. When our limitations really happen, that's when we go, oh, okay, well, what am I going to do if those limitations do indeed come up, or how do I
Yeah,
transcend them? Absolutely, absolutely. I think the saying. I'm sure you've heard it before, but uh, being rather than doing, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so we have things on our list where we say, this would what would fulfill me, this would what is what would make me happy. How do I become the most successful at this? How do I help the most people? How
yeah,
do I, live my most meaningful life? And sometimes you find yourself just doing the checklist, and
yeah,
sometimes it's just like, well, am I just happy and healthy? I
yeah,
don't know if I have enough sometimes, but am
yeah,
I
yeah,
just happy and healthy?
yeah, yeah, like reevaluating what's important. Like my
Yeah.
whole life I've wanted to travel and I put it off. And I just started doing it, literally in 2017 was like when I started traveling and seeing the world. And so now I've been to like India, England, Ireland, um, Canada's not very far, Mexico, not very
Still.
far, but, and Egypt. So, I have a whole bunch on my bucket list. Am I gonna get to do it all? I mean, I waited too long. I regret that, but I'm not gonna let it, like, hold me back.
Well, I know people in their 50s and 60s and even 70s that are still traveling. And yes, they have to be really in touch with understanding their body. And
Yes. I mean,
yes.
I feel like I can still hike that big mountain and climb rocks, but my body says no.
Well, it's a completely like these some of these people, they're very into nutrition and food, and they really have these practitioners in their corner so their body can regenerate and actually heal. And I'm telling you,
It
once they
works.
find the yeah, it does work. Once they find the equilibrium, they have more energy than 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. These people in
It's
their
so
60s and
true.
70s.
And so that's where I feel like we're at now. We've always been like, "Oh, no, I love my food. I love this. I love that." But I'm, like, at the point of, like, I really can't enjoy any of my food anymore because it affects my health.
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel, and maybe this is just me in the back of my mind, that everything is full of poison, and that's affecting my autoimmunes because they put so many chemicals on our food, even if I buy organic. So I really feel like I wanna start doing drastic things like growing my own vegetables and eating more vegetables that I grew that are organic. Maybe even, like, having my own little chicken coop and having my own eggs and, like, just things differently because I feel like life's so short. Like, I need to honor this is my temple, I need to honor it better, and I grew up in a time where I wasn't taught that, and it's really hard to break those habits, but it makes it easier when every meal you eat is gonna make you sick.
Yeah, I do feel like that's something that's super, super important to redefine, because in the United States we are not protected. The laws do not protect our
Mm-mm,
food.
mm-mm.
In other countries,
It's so much
it,
better. I
it's
don't
better
get sick.
and different.
I was in
Yeah,
Egypt for, like,
there's
2 and a
reasons for
half
that.
weeks eating this amazing food, and
Yes,
I had no digestive issues, and it's all organic and fresh.
yes, yes.
No
Unfortunately,
problems. I mean, nothing, like, normally, I can't eat so many things. I was eating everything and enjoying it. So
Hey,
it's
it's
just,
Richard.
hi, how are you? I know him. He was
Yes, you
that's
do.
what
That's why I was
Mr.
like, shout out to
Williams.
Richard.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if Richard's gonna come on, and he did. So I was like,
How are
hey
you,
Richard,
Richard?
you blew my brain.
I haven't seen him since 2017
Wow, that's a long time
in
ago.
Texas.
That's right. I
Mm.
remember that you had that with
It was,
Lisa Williams. That's
yeah,
when
I did
everyone
the
came together,
mentorship.
and
Yeah.
that was the group.
Yeah, and he
I
was in the
just
group.
I wasn't a part of that group, but I saw about it online, and then I heard about
Yeah.
it from some people because some of the people from Texas went to Lilydale, I think like 2 years later, and so that's where I met some of
Yeah.
the Texas group.
Yeah. I know, 'cause you did that, like, in 2013, the Lisa Williams one, right?
Yeah, I did. Yep, 2013, and then that was 2015 Texas. Were you at Fort Worth, or where were you in Texas?
Houston, I believe, or maybe was it, not Houston,
Dallas, or
not
where was it?
Dallas.
I don't
It's the one that has, like, the river, and there's, like, the walkway on the river and all these
I
Texas.
remember people mentioning the river. I don't know where
What
that
part
is,
of
though.
Texas, Richard? Tell us, I can't remember. It's at the tip of my tongue. I swear, it's at the tip of my tongue.
I can't remember if it was Fort Worth,
It
Dallas,
wasn't Fort
or
Worth, Dallas, and it wasn't Houston. Maybe it
I
was
don't
Fort
know.
Worth, Dallas. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was Fort
I
Worth.
don't know.
And they
In
had
my
a
San
San
Antonio,
Antonio,
San
that's it.
Antonio.
And we did a piano
Okay.
bar at the end. It was so much fun. They had a piano
That
bar. It was a blast. Yes,
does
San
sound
Antonio.
gosh. Speaking of healings, I was told some really incredible stories about there was some, like, massive healing work going on with the
That
mediums
week
too.
that we were in San
Yeah,
Antonio.
that
Yeah,
week,
I mean,
yeah.
Richard was healing people on the street that he was
That's
walking by. I mean, him
that's
and
what
Lisa were just like, "Oh," and like, "What?" And I was like, "What is going on here?" It was crazy. And then Lisa got on the piano, I think she plays the piano. I think
yeah,
it
I
was
think she
her,
does.
and
I
she
think she
sang
does.
out and belted out this, like, amazing song one night, and I'm like, "You sing too? Oh my gosh." Like, her and Cindy Kaza, like, they have so many talents. I'm jealous.
Yeah. I mean, you do too. What are you talking about? You're like a renaissance woman over here.
I don't know about that.
We all
I always
yes,
think that my only
yes.
talent is being a mom. I feel like that's my major talent is being a mother.
Uh, no, you're really good with numbers. You can build websites, you knit,
Yes,
you can cook,
I'm a nerd.
you know the back ends of a business. I think like what you said sometime in the past, I forget, like engineering's in your family or something, or what
Well,
did
it's
you
just my
do?
dad was a mathematician at UCLA, and yeah, and, just a lot of numbers. They ran out of math classes for me in school. That's why I left it at 10th grade. I was, like, bored.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people can say that. So again, I don't think a lot of people can say that. A lot of mediums, I think, are
Multi-talented.
yeah,
I think
because
people
they
are in general, but we don't have the opportunity to
correct,
pursue it. They've
correct.
changed the school systems. Back when I was a kid, they explored everything. We had art classes, we had Japanese class. I don't know what that was, but we learned all about Japanese culture. We had, math classes, like, outside of school. We had clubs and they don't do that so much.
The schooling system's different, the food system's different. That's like a whole
Mhm.
discussion in itself. But if anyone's kind of wondering else, I'm gonna say it for 2 seconds. Hey Nancy. Um,
Hi,
In the
Nan.
States, sorry, I had to, like, cough there for a
Oh,
second.
hi, Karen
Um,
Webb. Sorry, I
like,
didn't know.
food really is a business. Food is a business, and, the FDA is linked to politics, and a lot of people in, the
Organic's not really organic in our stores.
it's not 100% necessarily, no, but it's better than
It
other
is, and
food
that's what I've been
choices.
buying if I can get
Uh-huh.
it. A lot of
It's
times it's sold out or I have to go to the high dollar stores. Yeah.
in where I live, luckily, I'm very lucky, like Sprouts and, um, like Costco. Costco has a lot of organic options. And
Yes.
then Whole Foods and even Trader Joe's has a good portion of organic options. But yes, you should always go with how your body feels because
Oh, yeah.
the way that they handle, again, I could go on for a million years
Oh, yeah, I
and
mean, I
stop
I
talking.
could too, but then it's like I'm stuck, like, how do we I love, like, there's
Well,
this
I could tell you, I'm telling you. So the reason I'm so passionate about this, Kelley, is because when I was younger, 13 and 14, I didn't sleep very well and I was going through a lot of health issues and my body couldn't it started shutting down. Like I couldn't eat McDonald's. I couldn't even eat just basic foods,
Yeah,
right?
I
And
get
I was
sick
just like,
after
what's
it.
going on? What's going on? And so when I was a teenager, I started learning about the food industry and the FDA and really at home as a teenager, I transformed the kitchen of my house, like with my parents. I was just like, don't eat this. This is what means this. And like,
Well, I think
super,
I'm gonna
super
bring
passionate
you to
about
my
it.
house for a week, Kelly, and you're gonna redo our cupboards, okay?
Do it. I could tell you,
I need
seriously,
your help. I need
that's
a nutritionist. I'm gonna hire one, but I want an organic nutritionist, one who focuses on, whole eating and natural eating.
well, we talk about kind of like where we're multifaceted. So I don't always share as much. And I used to when I was younger. I didn't really know how to have confidence in my voice so much.
Right.
But that's one of my specialties, like food and understanding,
Oh my
like the
god.
composition of food and the biology of food of what
Yeah.
it does to people. Yeah, that's definitely one of my little superpowers for sure. So if you ever want to talk about food and
I
what's
do.
really
I
gone
need
on
I
in
need to book an
America,
appointment with you because let me tell you, I'm super sensitive to everything. And
yes, me
now
too.
that I'm getting older, I can't just ignore it. So I
No, you
literally don't eat very much, but I'm overweight. But I can't eat more than twice a day, and I can't always finish a whole meal. It's usually like half a sandwich. It's like, and I have to eat the same foods because I'm afraid of disturbing the whole like balance. And
yes.
it's difficult, especially when I travel. That's why I was so amazed in Egypt that I was not bothered by any of the food. I got to eat and they fed us constantly and I ate a lot and I came home 15 pounds later. Why is that?
Yes, because there's no additives within the food, and there's
Nothing.
no
It was just so fresh.
disturbance on how they grow things. And
Right.
the processes, right? They're processes that have been going on for thousands and thousands
I
of
mean,
years,
their
and they
bread
haven't
didn't
changed.
bother me. I loved the bread.
Correct.
I
So
watched
that's
them
what
make it in front of me.
exactly. So people talk about, oh, we didn't have gluten-free, like gluten-free and stuff like this. Like we didn't have bread thousands and thousands of years ago. And it's like we had there-
Yeah, they
like
did.
literally we had pitas,
Yes. I love pita bread. I
injera.
do well on pita bread. Yeah, and hummus and tzatziki sauce, like, all of that doesn't bother me.
Well, so like also in just
But it
Italy,
does
let's just talk
here, but
about
it didn't in
Italy.
Egypt. It didn't here.
Right.
It does here, but not in Egypt.
So we use a lot of wheat strains in the United States that are newer, and so they're not digestible in the same way. And then also the process and everything. uh, That's a whole thing I could break down in itself. But like in Italy, a lot of people are like, why can I eat the pizza? Why can I eat the pasta? It's actually like not only are there better wheats,
Mhm.
sure, but it's actually baked into their system. Like legally, they have to process the wheats to make pasta a certain way because they know scientifically that if they heat it a certain way, it will make the wheat more digestible for people. So they
Yes,
understand that
yes.
there's certain processes for people to actually able to digest the pasta and digest the wheats. So there's
Yeah,
multiple things that they go, let's help
yeah,
human beings.
yeah,
So
because
let's
yeah,
integrate this.
I
And we
mean,
don't do that in the United States.
yeah, it's there's a great organic restaurant in Reno that we love to go to, and they make their own kombucha.
Yes.
And it's like the best kombucha, and I can eat anything there with no problems, even garlic, which I'm highly allergic to, but they seem to make it in a way that I'm not allergic to it. Like, because usually when I eat garlic, fresh garlic, I get a rash all over my face and my
No.
body, and it itches.
Okay.
Yeah.
That happen. I mean, hey, right. And there's certain ways that we can enjoy certain foods. Uh, Exactly. They could ferment their garlic. When you ferment,
Maybe that's what it is. If it's fermented, it takes the enzymes out that I'm allergic to.
yeah,
Or
that's
that I
probably what
can't
they're
digest.
That's probably what's happening. A lot of times when you ferment vegetables, you can actually digest them it's not just like bread and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
a lot of vegetables are difficult for human beings to digest, but once you
Yeah.
ferment them,
Yeah, I
completely different
can't eat
story.
garlic, onions, green peppers, red peppers, bell peppers, chili peppers. I can't eat any of those. I just can't digest them. Cucumbers now, I love them. I still eat them, but I can't digest them. They cause me pain. I have to take medicine, an enzyme to help me digest them.
You got Make some pickles, girl. That's what I have to
I
say.
love pickles. I eat those all the time.
There's ways where you can have your cucumbers and pickles.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Sweet relish. I love sweet relish.
People are talking about a lot of
Yeah.
options, a lot of options. Oh, interesting. So people are talking about like apps.
Oh, the yucca. I love
Nutrition Action is great. So I guess interesting. Just putting it up for people who
I'm writing it
resonate.
all down, all these, because
Thank
Karen
you for
Webb also said Nutrition Action is great, and subscription $16 a year. Yeah,
And
so
Richard is saying we use the Yucca app here to spot additives and
I'm
problems.
open to all this. I just wanna be healthy again.
There are apps where you can literally so Yucca is one of them. But there's like Bobby Parrish. He Flaves. It's a YouTube channel, but he has like a lot of options for healthy eating and how he teaches people about additives and things within our food and really what companies are doing with
Yeah,
the food. Like let's say if there was a company change or if the company has, let's say, olive oil from 5 different regions rather than 1 different region, and you kind of can't really track the quality of the olive oil. So he'll
yeah,
break down what the individual companies are doing as well as the ingredients. And his name is Bobby Parrish, and it's like Flav City with Bobby Parrish. But anyway, he has an
I've
app.
heard of them, I think.
He has an app for his phone where if you just scan the ingredients, it lets you know what ingredients you need to look out for, or say, hey, this is the additive, or this is the preservative. This means this means that. So that's
Yeah,
another cool
yeah.
guy.
I think it's crazy because I also just read on some science thing, last week in the news that they have these 2 twins that were autistic. They
Mm,
were diagnosed around 3, and they put them in this study where they changed their diet, and they took all of the additives out, they took all of the dyes out of the food. They were on a strict diet. They're both 100% cured, and they were severely autistic, not communicating, and both, like, you could hardly tell that they were ever autistic. They still have a few sensory issues. But my son's on the spectrum, and when he was quite young, he was very severe and had meltdowns everywhere and was concerning. And we did a lot with, like, he wouldn't eat food, actually. He just wouldn't eat food. He was on a liquid diet till he was 5, and then they said he has a hiatal hernia and he has, like, all these stomach issues, and so we put him on medicine for that and started eating. But I was really careful about what I fed him, and I made him a lot of, like, shakes with spinach and that were, like, natural shakes and stuff, and he would drink those. But I have to say, like, you can't tell anymore. I mean, now he eats like crap, but he's a teenager.
yeah. Well, that makes sense. Well, what you're just telling me of why all of a sudden he had that condition, like the hernia, that makes sense with protein and spinach. Actually, that can kick up some of those things. That's very interesting. That's
Yeah,
understandable. But
yeah,
then, yeah, it's just food really, really, really can alter how people feel, how they think. For some mediums, food doesn't bother them at all. They
oh,
literally could
yeah,
have a candy bar and they're just like, okay, I'm ready to go. And for
yeah.
people who are sensitive, it can destroy you. Like I can't eat that stuff.
I
I will,
shouldn't. That's why I said I'm working on this. I'm trying. It's at my desk. I'm
well,
like, "Get it away from me."
I'm so sensitive that
It's
if I
hard to
have
break the
sugar,
habit.
I could have sometimes sugar at a high-end restaurant and it might not bother me, or sometimes it can give me a migraine and destroy me
Yeah,
on the
yeah, it
spot.
gives me a migraine and
So
it makes me sick, and I still want it.
I
I'm
no,
going to
I
start
can't
hitting
do
the therapy.
it. I can't.
I'm
I can't
starting
do it. It hurts too
hypnotherapy to
bad.
break the sugar thing because I've broken it before and didn't want sugar.
Well, there's maple syrup, there's coconut
Yeah,
sugar. I still have sweet stuff. I just
yeah, yeah.
fruit
But I'm gonna
sugar
do
just destroys me.
hypnotherapy. I'm starting that here. A new hypnotherapist is gonna be working back here using my space, and I'm gonna schedule with her every week to work on my sugar cravings.
And then
Yes, I wrote that
there's
down.
ways
Thank
to
you,
do it.
guys. I'm excited. I'm
There's
gonna write
ways
all
to
this
do it.
down. Yeah,
Fruit and honey and all these different
yes.
alternatives, absolutely. Sue's talking about the Bobby,
Oh,
app, approval. That's what I was talking about with Flav City and Bobby Parish. Thank you, Sue. And Angela's talking about, I recently heard there's a specific order, how to eat your food to digest it better. Yes. So one of the most helpful things to consume first is actually fats, because it helps slow down your sugar release with how your glucose spikes. So there is a certain order. Yeah. Like I'll actually drink water then in the morning, and I will take fish oil and salt. And that will actually help me before I eat anything further. It will help me digest everything much easier because I'm actually
yeah.
consuming oil first.
Oh,
And
interesting.
it's a
So
fatty oil.
I love the fat on my steak. Does that count?
You love the no, it does, but it's the way you eat it and how often, and
No, I know.
fat's great for the body. No,
No, I know.
so
Just
in France, they have a heavy fat rich diet, like, whole milk cheeses, triple cream brie, fat with the steak. It's just milk, cream, cheese, yada yada yada, like rich meats,
yeah, yeah.
right? And they have one of the lowest like heart problems, cardiac issues in all of
Crazy, right?
the world. Well,
Yeah,
because fat's actually great. Fat
I
actually
know.
cleans
You
your
can't just
arteries.
cut it
You
all
know
out.
that? Fat actually cleans your arteries. And
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people don't talk about, they're like, oh, it's like, statins or like vegetables. And it's just like, no, that's not exactly it. Like
yeah,
fat, it's the type of fats. And
yeah,
animal fat is actually great for us. It's just what's up with the cow that you're eating first? If
yeah.
the
What
cow's been
kind of
pumped with all
hormone?
this stuff,
Yes,
correct? Maybe
yes,
that's not the best fat to consume. There's some of
right.
that goes into
Yes,
it.
this is true. Now I
Like
need to get a
shortening
cow.
or
Darn it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna have a busy backyard.
But actually, the brain and the body need fat and
No,
salt
it
and
does.
water
It
to
helps your
function.
intelligence. I read about all this too. I understand
Yeah,
that. You know,
great for you. Fat is great for you.
but I was raised so dysfunctional. You know, my sisters are all into fitness and exercise, and my mom was very thin. And I'm a big bone girl. I take after my dad's side of the family. He's Mexican, and I have like an almost 8-inch wrist. Like I have big bones. I can't wear those petite little bracelets. They don't fit me. I wear a size 9 shoe and I'm 5'4". I mean, that's big feet for a 5'4" girl. So I got like big bones. I know this. And so as an early age, I was on a diet and I had to weigh myself in front of the family and I had to write down everything I ate on the fridge. And it was very traumatic. So this is part of my healing journey. I'm 54 and I'm still healing. I mean, you don't realize the kind of trauma you cause to a child on those types of things. I don't think my mom meant to cause me this trauma, but it really caused me a lot of trauma around food my whole life. My weight has fluctuated 70 pounds up or down since I was 20. And like that, like when I start to get on my health kick, I'll drop 50 to 70 pounds, boom, in like 6 months because I'm feeling good and I get better. And then when things go bad, it's like food's my crutch. And I'm aware of it and I'm trying to really fix it now that I'm 54, almost 54. Like I'm tired of the yo-yo. I want to stop the pain that I'm causing my body because I want to live to 90.
You will live to 90. Claim
I think
it.
I am. I actually feel like I am going to live to 90, but I want to live to 90 and feel good. I know like
Yes.
nothing's perfect and we're going to have some aches and pains. But I mean, I'm pretty strong. I can handle aches and pains. Like,
It's a real thing. I mean, I'm talking about as a young person, so like a teenager in my 20s, I'm in my 30s now. If when I eat things, if they're not the right things for me, and I do a lot of research before I go to restaurants, and I know
mhm.
what foods are good for my body, even if I'm at a restaurant I really can't control,
Yeah,
right? So I stick to
yeah,
certain things. but my neck will tense up. I'll get a migraine. My knees will go
Migraines.
hot. My joints will be stiff. I
Joints.
actually will sometimes feel, because like it's usually honestly a lot of sauces have preservatives in them and additives, so I try to stay away from sauces a lot and glazes
Yeah,
or
me too. Very
dressings.
plain food. I like
Yeah,
just like
I avoid
I get salmon, usually grilled salmon, and I say no sauce or anything, just salt and pepper. You know, and fresh vegetables that are steamed, I don't want any sauce on them. And I
Yeah.
use lemon. I don't use salad dressing because I don't like a lot of salad dressing. If I do, it's a balsamic vinaigrette. That's it.
At
Yeah.
home, we can do whatever we want, because if we know about the ingredients and the things that we're using at home, once you start to understand what you can and can't have, you can. I mean, I'm a saucy girl. Like I'll dump like all these different flavors and combinations. I love it. But when I'm out and I don't know the quality of the food, right, I can't. I stay away from salads usually because of the dressings. Of I don't know what's in that dressing, and I
Yeah.
will actually like let's say get a headache and I will actually feel I have to ground my energy in it. This is really important to
Mhm.
talk about because it's not just physical. I will actually feel angry on the inside.
Yes.
And a lot of kids go through this, like they have
Yes.
tempers or they act out.
It
And it's
causes
just like,
meltdowns. That's what my
yes,
son used to have, and I knew it had to do I was nursing him exclusively. I nursed all of my children, but he was a preemie, and they gave him a bottle in the NICU, and I always struggled with nursing him, and he bit me constantly, so at
no,
6 months, he's the only one that didn't make it to a year and a half. He actually got, bottle fed, but I had to put him on a special milk because he was allergic to the milk. He's lactose intolerant, so he had to have soy, but then I realized soy was bad for him, and then we had to get him onto, almond milk. And yeah, it was a lot of things I learned, but yeah, it's just crazy.
it's a lot.
I've
Exactly.
been doing fasting too. I eat twice a day. I eat around 10 in the morning, and then I eat around 5 at night, and I try not to eat after. But I have a really bad influence family who doesn't like wanna get on board, and they're always triggering me. So I'm working on that. That's why I'm gonna do the hypnosis. I'm super excited. Yeah,
Exactly.
I need to lose the
Exactly.
weight. Yeah.
It's like, letting go, shifting, moving energy. And for whatever reason, some people are not sensitive to food, so they can keep their energy moving and fleshing and they can release. And some people, they really almost like the food attaches on to their nervous system and
That's
their way of being. And so we're all
It
affected
affects my
in
brain.
very, very different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that I'm not eating right and not doing the right things when I can't remember things or I'm forgetful or I can't keep my thoughts clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all real. That's all 100% real. Um, I mean, there's just I could talk for days about it, but a lot of times
I
when
appreciate
I
it.
have
Sounds
to
like I'm
be
gonna book an appointment with you.
yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk food. We'll
Yes.
talk food. We really will. But
Yeah.
I know the last thing I'll say on it is I know like doing this work or even having the show, the psychic hour or doing appointments or doing events. I will not eat out sometimes for 3 days or a week or 2 days, or I just will be super, super strict, or I'll pack all my food if I'm traveling because I will go, I don't know what's going to happen to me on this day. I need to
Yeah.
perform. And so now this is my protocol.
Mhm.
And it sounds extreme, but it's the only way that I can make sure that I do what I need to do sometimes. And
I'm like
that's
that,
a
like,
real
bring
thing.
my own food. When I went to Egypt and when I went to India, I brought a lot of my own food, but I brought things that were more like shakes that I trust. I love isogenic shakes and things like that, and so I would bring, like, the shake mixes and things like that, meal replacements that were easy to travel with that I know don't freak my stomach out.
Exactly. It's so needed. It's like just the discipline of energy. So we're talking about food a lot, but really there's a lot of things that pull at our energy, drain us, make us turn into different people even when
Yeah,
we allow certain friends or family or foods, et cetera, around us, we go, what do we say no to? What do we say no to? And I know something that we wanted to talk about for a second before we went into readings was kind of like the transition of identity. Like our energy is changing so much. with like within our business or what we see like the world is responding to, and how people are healing and how people are changing. And
Yeah.
so what have you been seeing the most of within that before we go into readings?
I just see a lot of people are struggling this year,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like they're getting through it and finding new ways, and I think that's been helpful that they wouldn't have done, but they needed to do. So it's almost like a lot's going on, but we're being pushed to grow.
I do think so. It's a little overwhelming. It's a little overwhelming whether it's like you're being pushed outside your normal life or
Yeah,
whether something is going inside on the inside of you.
yeah,
I do feel like the vast majority of people I've talked to, it's not so much they go, oh well, something's out there, let me talk about it. Like they're forced to change. And
yeah,
everyone collectively is like, I don't feel like how I felt 4 years ago or 10 years ago.
exactly. It feels different. I mean, I know, um, I'll say this, the minute you think, "Oh, I'm perfect, I've done all my healing, I'm in this great place, I'm so euphoric," is when you're wrong. Because I think you get complacent and you're comfortable and you're like, "Oh, this is, I'm this is where I wanna be, I'm great." And then boom, it shakes up and it's not where you wanna be. You were just lying to yourself.
Yeah, yeah, or like I do believe that sometimes we find ourselves in places and we think, oh, this was the culmination. I'm here, and really, it's like, welcome to step 1 or step 2 out of 20.
Yeah. Like, we're
We're
taking
like,
baby
ah.
steps, don't look at the big picture. So I'm actively trying to make the baby steps. Yeah.
Yeah, and go slower and
It's
just
hard, it's
allow
very
it.
difficult. I did it in my 40s. I lost 70 pounds, and I was working out 6 days a week, and I was in
Oh,
the best shape ever and felt fantastic. Of course, that lasted till I lost my son, and then it triggered me, and I went right back into my bad eating habits and depression, and then menopause happened, and I couldn't lose the weight again, and every time I did try to do what I did before, it doesn't work because now I'm older and, injuries happen. So it's a lot, like, I love that my daughter is very conscious of her health, and she's younger, and she's learned from me. She works out, she eats healthy, she takes care of herself because she doesn't wanna be like me or my mom, you know?
we all learn from the people around us, and we
Yeah.
really do have to take care of ourselves. I mean, just kind of earlier this year, I like I fell down a couple times, and I'm just like, man, what is going on? Like, I just put my footing wrong,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
one was on the stairs, one was just like again putting my foot down on the concrete, and I didn't realize I didn't zip a boot up all the way, stuff
Ooh.
like that. And I've healed from that, but if I have a bad night of sleep, or let's say if there's something else going on in my body, all of a sudden I go, wow, I can feel where my body is not fully healed, but on a good
Yeah,
day, it feels 100%. So we
yeah.
have all these parts of us emotionally, physically, that are not 100% healed.
Yeah,
And the more we kind of go, well, I'm just going to wing it. I'll worry about it later. These
yeah,
things build up and build
they
up and
build
build
up.
up. And go, what we just go, why is this so bad? Well, we're ignoring so many parts of ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, do we have time to do a couple readings?
Yeah, let's go into readings. Let's go. Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
'cause everybody's
All right.
asking, I see it.
That's right. That's right. We were on a tangent with talking. So let's
But
go
I mean,
into
it's a good
reading.
talk.
Yes, it is. For some reason, it came up how it came up.
Yes.
So, what kind of readings? You might be open to any reading, but what kind of readings do you want to share with people, so people understand the way you work before we begin?
Mediumship, if we do mediumship, if we can bring them up, if we're gonna do psychic, just psychic questions in the comments.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah,
So we have a mixture. I can put down a link, and we could have people live or in comments.
let's do
And I
both
guess
live and comments.
Okay. So everyone, I'm opening the space to put down the link. If you'd like to come in live with us, just click the link, and you will be backstage. And if we call you, you'll be a part. We'll also go into comments, and please say that you're open to a reading, because that's how we know you are consenting and being open for us going to you. And we will check if you're still with us. So please be live too as you're with us for readings.
Yes,
All right.
please.
So I'm gonna put down the link, and then Kelly, if you're drawn to, I can go first too, but if you're drawn to anyone, let me
Yeah,
know, and I'm gonna
yeah.
put this
I
down.
wonder if I need to post the link, for my pages on here, or does it go to my pages too?
It has to be for StreamYard. So you see the URL? It's
Yeah.
the StreamYard URL. They need that.
Okay, I'll
So
put it on
it
there
has to be. It can't be anything else other than that. It
Yeah,
has
no,
to
I
be.
put it on there too. I just copied yours so that it goes to my pages.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so all right. So we have Angela. We have Keith. Do you see Keith too? I'm just making sure you see
somewhere.
you
Yeah,
see
I see them.
backstage.
Angela and everything. Yes.
Okay, we have Sue, Angela, Karen, Sherry. We have Karen backstage, Michelle. So whoever you're drawn to with Claudia, Sherry. Okay, so whether this is we're doing psychic readings and mediumship readings, everybody. So if you have a preference, please ask, and then we will go to. We have Sherry backstage too. So how would you like to start?
You pick, and I'll follow your lead.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to go to Keith. Keith was the first one back here, like a lightning bolt.
Is he oh, okay.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
It's going good. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Awesome. Okay, so Keith, I like to open things up, especially in the beginning, with a birth date. What is your birth date?
6/21/1983.
Ooh. You're just a baby.
6/21/1983, you said, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. And then do you have a question, Keith?
Nope. Whatever spirit wants to tell me.
Okay, cool. All right. So
I love the
added. What'd you say, Kelley?
His accents. I love it.
I love his energy. Yes, I love it. Okay, so he's personal day 3, attitude 9, and life path 3 as well. And I'm just pulling up one more number, Keith. Okay, so you're in a cycle of 8. All right. So you have so many social numbers. So something that's very important for your energy always is to make sure that you're out and about, being around people, and a place to help people, because a natural part of your energy always wants to go above and beyond and say, how can I be there for you? And whether someone understands that or not, you have to be put in environments where you say, I'm going to let spirit guide me. I'm going to let spirit show me why I'm here today. And I feel like you're in a spot where you have much more energy to do that, because there's different phases in your life where you've been like really open and like abundant with like this energy of, I just want to be around people, you know, I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, right? And I feel like that's really coming back. So this year's all about an 8 for you too, and that's like about getting on board with your physical health, getting into yourself stronger within your grounding, but with your physical body. So they're showing me like some of these things. They're showing me, like, for instance, you've been either running or walking again, if you can understand this.
Yes.
And they're showing me like your calves and how they're getting stronger, and how like when you've been walking, and I feel like I'm taken to the walking and running, but specifically the walking right now. I'm seeing like there's like these paths that you walk, and there's all these little like grass and greenery sprouting out around the paths, and there's houses, and people have their front gardens and like their little plants and everything, and it's almost like the plants talk to you on the walk, if you can understand this. It's almost
absolutely. I can, because I walk on a dirt road is what I do.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you for understanding. It looked like one of the two. Interesting. It looked like either a dirt road for me or cement, like black top cemented in some parts, but it almost was like I'm out in where the country is.
Correct.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So some places are paved and some are not. And I feel like it's really interesting because like all this energy from the forest is like seeping up into your body and helping to make you stronger. So on one end, it's like spirit and the universe is making you stronger and giving you messages, and it's actually like making you revitalized again. And on the other end, you're actually getting into like so I see you put on your socks with your gym shoes, and you're actually thinking about like going into lifting some weights. Can you
True.
understand this? So it's like your body is getting into a place where you can help others again. And I could continue to say a lot with that, but I want to give that to Kelley and then bounce this back to me, Kelley, if you
I totally resonate with everything you just said for him. I thought that was amazing. And I definitely want to learn numerology one day. I mean, I know a little bit, but I love numerology and astrology. But when I tune into you, I just really love your energy, Keith. I feel like you are a very social being and that you are very good with people. You're a bit of a people pleaser sometimes, but I feel like you've learned your boundaries at your age now. You're kind of like, I'm done with all this. I'm gonna set some boundaries now. But in the past, you had trouble with that. Do you understand?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I feel like, with age comes like, we learn things, we grow, we're different. And I really do feel like you've come a long ways, I want to say in the last 10 years in your life, that you've really made huge shifts and changes in your life to be happier and where you're at now. And I feel like where you're at now is a really good place. And that you're still continuing or striving always to improve and, be your best and be happy. Do you understand this? And I
Absolutely,
feel like
yes.
you've had to let go of a lot of things in your past to really move forward because you let people, I want to say people and things kind of pull you down in the past and you've gotten past that. You're like, I'm done with this. This is who I am. I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is what makes me happy. Either you're part of it or you're goodbye. That's like where you're at right now. You're just leaving
True.
people behind that can't keep up. And that's okay. You're not like mad at them. You're just like, I'm moving on. You're not going to pull me down anymore. And I think that's a good place. I don't know what you do for a living, but I do feel like you definitely either are in charge or make your own schedule because I feel like you get to kind of dictate what you do and how you do it. So it's either your own business or you just have one of those careers where you get to kind of decide when you're going to work and what you're going to do. And that's a really good place for somebody like you because you don't like being told what to do. So I feel like you're in a good position. Do you understand this?
Absolutely. I am a seafood manager.
Oh, okay. And you like that. You get to do what you want to
hungry.
do. No one telling you how to do it. It's like you've got your job down. That's what I
Correct.
think for you. So I feel like really good things are happening this year for you, even though it might not seem like it always, or it might seem like a difficult year. I think you're not the only one going through that. I just feel like the rest of this year, believe it or not, is going to get better and things are going to fall into place and you're going to see and understand now why everything happened the way it did this year. Because I feel like the first 6 months has been difficult and the next like rest of the year, it just starts to get better each month. Okay. So I hope that
Awesome.
makes sense. Have you had a difficult 6 months?
I have, but I've gone through, as you said, Kelley, I am in a cycle of 8. So I have turned that 8 into infinity. So I have switched it around to make sure that goes into my infinity sign. I've been doing a lot more card pullings for myself, a lot more mediumship, a
Yes.
lot more of trying to grow into the way that spirit has been connecting with me.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kelley's right on the money. Like it is a harder year, but like your energy's so good right now where you're like on the upswing.
Mhm.
Um,
That's
and
like
you're taking
everything.
charge, and that's like, it could be the hardest year ever, but if that's what you're doing and you're keeping your energy high, like you're gonna be actually okay, even though stuff will come up where you go be like, it's not maybe the easiest,
Mhm.
most
Yep,
But it's all
flowing
good.
times, but I'm strong. I'm strong.
Yeah. But I feel like
exactly.
for Keith, he's got the great mindset. Like people don't realize how important it is our thoughts are. And Keith's got that down. And I think that's what's helping you. It's been a difficult year for me too this year. My husband got injured and all that. And we both have been working on affirmations and staying positive. And envisioning what we want to happen. And I have to say, it's getting better and it's improving, and this is helping. And I think that's the key to difficult times. It's pushing us and it's pushing you to really grow and know that you're going to get through it. It's like a test, you know?
Exactly. It feels like it's a test, but it also feels like me going to sit on that mountain with my eagle to say, okay, where do I need to go or what do I need to do?
Yes, the ego. The ego really gets us, doesn't it?
It
Controls
does,
us
yes.
sometimes. Yes, that's what's happening, I feel like, with my husband with the injury, because it's his ego now. Like, he can't do all the things he used to do. He has to hire somebody to do the yard work or, and that's hard for him because he's the man and that's what he wants to do. And, he's used to just doing things his way. And so
Ye-
it's been hard on him and then hard on me, right?
Yep.
So it happens, like, it pushes you out of your comfort zone when things are difficult, but if you have the right attitude, the right perspective, it's a growing period. It's
It
growth.
sure is. And I always say infinity is one of the best signs that there is.
Yes, it is. I love that.
It is.
8 infinity, exactly.
Just heads up, it's going to be, so August is going to be a slower month. So just take that into knowing you have more time to get stronger. Okay.
I'm
So
all for
Okay.
that.
Hey, as
just
I always
embrace
say, 888, the line gauge portal is going to be fun.
it really is.
I'm doing
It
an
really
event on that night, 888.
Yep.
is. Boom.
Well, it's
Well,
8,
thank you guys.
but thank you.
Have a great
Thank you.
day. Bye.
Bye, Keith.
Bye. Okay. So you're up if you want to pick somebody. I always
Yes.
say,
Well, I can't see anybody.
can you see, we have Karen and
Yeah,
Michelle and we have
You
Sue
pick, because I
backstage.
can't, all I see is myself.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna bring up Sue. Okay. Or what name are you attracted to? Karen, Michelle, Karen?
Yeah,
Okay,
bring up
very good.
Karen. I like that name. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Karen?
Hi.
How are you?
Kelly and Kelly.
That's right. That's right. Same double.
Kelly. We're the echo.
So you're talking about doing something really different, going on a 10-day safari.
I can't hear you, Karen. I think that your sound's not very good. It's very choppy. Can you hear her?
I heard part of it. She said she's starting to do something different. She's going on a safari. Is that what you said,
Yeah.
Karen? Okay.
Oh, how exciting.
That's really big. That's a major thing, a safari. So you're into traveling right now. Do you have a specific question that you wanted to ask us?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Karen?
Karen, do I have a question?
Well,
Yes, do you have a question?
Can you see my future prospects?
Future
You said your prospect. You said, did you say relationship
I'm
prospects?
divorced. Yeah, relationships.
Okay, relationship and divorce. Okay, gotcha.
hot 20-year-old man, Karen. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm hearing Kelley Eckhardt too. I don't know why. I'm hearing all of you.
It's very echoey.
It's echoey, the sound. Yeah,
Oh.
it's echoey the sound. So Karen, what's your birth date?
March 29th, 1950.
You said March 29th?
Yeah.
1950?
4. Yeah.
1954. Okay. So
Yeah.
Kelley, if you have anything, you can jump on in. I'm just going to do her numbers for a second.
When it comes to relationships, so I met Karen in Egypt. She came on our trip. Well, I met her at my events. And
Wow.
I don't know if it was the same Karen, but I thought it might be. And Karen, when it comes to prospects, I definitely feel like you're open to love and that you might find somebody if you want. I just feel like you need to find somebody who's on the same journey or path as you. You don't want anybody pulling you down because you are full of energy. You're like the energy bunny. And you just have a lot going on and you're very busy, and I love that. And you need to find somebody that can keep up. I'm going to suggest a younger person, a little bit younger than you, that can keep up with you. That's what I'm going to say. And I definitely feel like you're going to meet somebody in all your journeys because I know you do a lot of travel. Maybe a doctor.
Ooh. Right?
Can
Nothing
you
wrong
hear
with
any of
that.
that, Karen? I don't know if she can hear me.
Karen, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Kelley.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Oh, no, I didn't hear you, Kelley Eckhardt. I'm sorry.
Oh, she didn't hear anything I said.
Did you hear Kelley Eckhardt?
But which one? I thought it was Kelley Brickle that was talking. Is it
No,
Kelley?
I was talking.
It was-
So I'm sorry.
That's
It's okay. It's okay. So she heard you. She heard you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with that and anything Kelley Brickle has with your birthday.
Kelley Brickle, are you telling me?
Now I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Kelley Brickle's me. I'm talking right now to give you your end of things. So what I'm seeing for like your personality, it makes sense why you're going on safari. It makes sense why you went to Egypt because you're an attitude 5, and this like is you always having kind of this restless energy where
Yeah.
I need to just get up and do that, and I need to try this, and I feel like that's really the same way where you're putting your kind of thoughts out. Well, I would like to try this. I'd like to try that. And my number one advice coming in is it's just like date. I want to see you out there dating. I want to see you out there trying. So it's like if you need to get involved with some type of, let's say, agency or event, you could just, there could be a singles event or there could be an event of like-minded people where like it could be spirituality, it could be a book club. It's just I don't think you have a hard time talking to people. I don't think you have a hard time meeting people. So just say, I'm officially putting my intention out to date. Let's go. Let's do this. And I feel like it's really important that they have family values, and it's really important that they have a relationship with their family. And so there has to be this kindness and sweetness and like this really kind of mixture of a fun and exciting person, but who has old school values and class when it comes into how they look after a woman and how they take care of their family. So I think you have a magnetism of you say you want to do something and all of a sudden life kind of happens to you and you're like, away I go again, right? I guess I'm here. And I feel like it's time to say that louder. I'd like to go on some dates. Let's go and make this happen. And the universe is going to make it happen for you, Karen. That's what I say. Okay. It's just like, can you understand that there has like been, even though you wanted it, there's a part of you where you just go, I'm kind of happy doing my own thing, but now you officially are saying, I think I can put my focus on this.
For me to hear you, Kelley Brickle.
You can't hear me?
It's hard to hear you now because I'm just hearing you both.
Oh no!
You said
You have us on in the background, Karen. You have to mute the background if you're on the computer with us. You have to mute like the Facebook.
I have a phone, but I'm not on it.
Were you on the Facebook on your computer? So do you have Facebook open in another tab?
Shall I hit mute? Will that help?
Yeah.
That will in the background. That's the problem.
The mute will help in one way or another. But all I'm saying for you, Karen, is that you have a really good like magnetism within your energy. If you want to try stuff, life kind of just happens to you and you go, I guess I'm doing this now. And so say that to the universe. Put that in the universe. I'm ready to date. I'm open to people coming to me. I want this. And I just really think with your track record, just like with traveling, a man is going to find your way to you quite easily. You have to say, I actually want this. And you let the past go. Like instead of, I want this, but I hope this doesn't happen. Let it go, heal, and say, I'm in a new phase. I want this. Okay. That's what's coming up for you.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to love and leave you with that because I know the sound's a little bonkers. So thank you so much, Karen, for being with us.
You.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye, Karen.
Bye. Bless her heart. Yeah, that's difficult with when my sound's even acting a little up.
I think she had it on her computer in another tab. And
yes,
so it still was talking. I could hear it in the background.
Yes.
So, and it's delayed, so it's different timing than hear it. So, yeah.
For sure. So would you like to pick someone from the comments or backstage?
I'm terrible at picking. I'm a Libra.
Oh no, you would be. Wow. Yes.
I'm indecisive. I have to be like, oh, this way. No, this. Yeah. I have a hard time making decisions. Not always, but in some situations. Yes.
Okay. So we'll go with Cheyenne. Here you go. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
Do you have a question today?
Open. I'm open.
Yeah, you're open. Wow, people are they're like give it to me. They're like give it to me.
Whatever I need to hear usually. So
Okay. And Cheyenne, what's your birthday?
January 8th of 91.
January 8th of 91, you said?
Yes.
Right. So I'm just getting the numerology for a second.
You want me to jump in
And
while you do that?
jump in however you want. Jump in however you want.
Cheyenne, you said whatever comes through, and I have like I'm being pulled in two directions for you. So I do feel like I have a grandmother that's stepping forward on mother's side that you would have been very close to. Do you
Yes.
understand this, grandmother? I
Yes.
want to call her like another mom. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Because I feel like she comes through. I'm mom, grandma. And it's sort of
Very
like
much
she's
so.
both names. What?
Very much so. Yes.
Okay. And she's quite a character. I feel like she's full of like you just never know what she's gonna say. I want to say she's full of surprises. You know,
Very
and
talkative.
yeah, and very sweet and very loving and very fun. And you would have been she would have taken care of you when you're younger or helped been part of but as she got older, you would have also been part of her care team. Do you understand this?
Yes.
So she said it's almost like it made full circle with you. And she went so like grateful for everything that you did. But I also feel like this takes me more into like the psychic because I feel like she's really encouraging you to follow your dreams and passions. It's almost like she says you feel stuck or you're afraid to make that jump into the next level or the next step. And she's like trying to push you off that ledge. She's like, come on now. And if she were here in life, I feel like she would have been pushing you in life too.
Probably. Yeah.
So, do you have a creative side? Because she's talking about your creative side, like you're very artistic or very creative thinking. Do you understand
That comes up a lot, but I'm not sure where it comes from. I mean, I used to want to do photography. I used to draw a little bit when I was younger, but I don't feel like I'm that great at it. But
You don't have to
that's
be.
for
You
kids,
just
so I don't find much time.
I
to do
understand
anything.
that. I understand that. But you know what? I'm very creative. I love arts and crafts. And so when my kids were little, we'd go for a little hike in the park and grab rocks and we'd go home and we'd paint rocks. You
I've
know,
done that with them before.
yeah, I loved paper mache. I could do my own art and the kids did their own art. So I do feel like there is a creative side trying to get out of you, and it's like something that's going to help you kind of express yourself or release some things that you're holding on to. Because I do feel like you are so focused on being a mom, which to me is like the best career in the world.
Yes.
You know, that you're forgetting about also focusing on you. And remember, to be a mom, you have to stay balanced. And like if you're not fully taking care of yourself, then you're not always 100% there for your children the way they need you. And they can sense that because kids are smarter than us. They're emotionally smarter than us, believe it or not. And so they can sense when you're feeling a little lost or a little distraught, even though you try to cover it up. And I feel like there's some healing that's happening, but you're holding on to it still, or you're not letting it go to heal. And so that's where I feel like grandma is pushing you for the creative side. It's a way that you release your pain. It's a way that you can let things go. And so I don't know if it's drawing, if it's painting, if it's writing, if it's music, but it could be all of the above. But I feel like this is really going to help you find some balance for yourself. And I had 3 kids and I took care of all like a bunch of other people. Let me just tell you that. And lots of nieces and nephews live with us. And I always had a moment in the morning time. I would get up extra early so that I had my hour in the morning, you know, without nobody. None of the kids were up, you know, and that was my time to kind of take for me and breathe. So maybe you need to find that little time if you can. I know it's hard with
I
little ones.
need to. I struggle with getting up in the morning because my kids don't
Me
want to go to
too.
sleep.
I'm a
And I
night
still
owl.
got one that wants to breastfeed, so that
Yes,
kind of makes it hard at the moment. But
I understand.
getting
Well,
there.
well, breastfeeding, you could sit and meditate.
Yeah.
You know,
Usually
sit
I'm watching you
wait,
guys or something. But
put
that's
yourself
just about
in
the
front
only
of
thing
a
I do.
beautiful window, you know, where you're looking outdoors while you're breastfeeding and get your thoughts clear. You know, whatever it can be. You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't have to be an hour a day. It could be 20 minutes. It could be 10 minutes, but you need that time for you. That's what I keep hearing. And grandma's really pushing you to do that for yourself. Okay? You're going to get burnt out, she keeps saying. You're going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I follow in my mom's footsteps with that. But she had 5 of us too, so
Yeah, my mom had 5 also. I know. I grew up in a big family. It was crazy. Yeah. What do you have, Kelley? I'm gonna let you go, but that's what I'm gonna leave you with. Grandma's really pushing you to help
Thank
you.
you.
Five kids. Yeah, that sounds daunting. 3 kids,
Well, I
5
have
kids.
4,
It all
but
sounds
my mom had 5, so.
Yeah. Well, you might
still,
have more.
that sounds daunting.
I'd love to know if I'm gonna have more. I do want another girl eventually, but 2 more.
Well, okay, let me write that down so I can remember to go there for 2 seconds. It's funny you say that because that was somewhere kind of when you came on in. That was like kind of my awareness. But let me go into kind of where I was. So what I'm hearing with excellent job, Kelley, beautiful reading.
Oh, thank you.
What really comes into effect is so she brought in grandma, and so I was very much aware of grandma too, and I do feel like grandma would have been one to push you in a way where she's supporting you and giving you guidance. So it's very loving, encouraging, but it's very let me teach you how to way to be. And so when grandma wasn't around, and I really feel like you lost one of your people that really gave you guidance. And so you're aware of that it's not working for you, kind of this current lifestyle. You know how to make the best of things. You know how to look out for others. You really put your heart into situations. So it's like you are present and you are giving a lot of love to the environment, but it's not working, so you're scattered. And so like spirit is really coming in and saying like you actually need like support, like you need support and guidance. So whether it is a group around you, again online, in town, something that you can have, you need like-minded women that say I know what you're going through, or here's some advice, and I'm like you, so you can actually take me seriously. I'm not just giving you some half-brained advice where you'd go like, who are these people, like mind their own business, right? You need to
Right.
find people who are either like you or better, that and I say that because it's like when I got into my spiritual development, and it could be your hobbies, it could be your thoughts, could be not just something spiritual, but like when I got into spiritual development, and I know Kelley can understand this too, like I went for teachers who were better than me. I wanted to put myself around people who were in the professional sphere longer than me because their energy was elevated, and so I could elevate and I could heal and I could go, that perspective. I have a way. I know that this is real. I know that I can be like this because if I surround myself with people who are similar to me at this point in my life, I'm going to be like, wah, 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 I don't really like this. And I'm really not feeling that motivated. And I wish it was different. And I do feel like your brain, like Kelley brought up creativity, your brain is very creative. You always see things in different ways and you can find solutions. And when you're dealing with people, again, it's like you know how to avoid conflict. You have all
I
these.
look I look at things on both sides, multiple sides, where some people are
Yes.
always one-sided. So
Yeah, you're very open.
yeah.
Yes, you're able to go, okay, I need to be this right now, and I'm gonna do this, and I'll stick this in.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And they're just saying, like, you need to find people who are just as interesting as you and do things like that with their brain. Like Kelley has a different brain than I have, but we appreciate each other's brains because we're like, oh, that's so cool. Your brain does that. Or
I
you
love
need to
it.
you need to find people who are on your level or above your level.
Yes.
And I really feel like that's going to give you a different perspective with relationship, with family, with self. And you need your spark to be cultivated more than just you lighting your own and getting yourself up and going, okay, I'm going to go. We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And the last thing I'll say really is too, I love what Kelley said, like when you're breastfeeding, you don't have to be just watching TV, you can be meditating. So it's like different people, different choices, different people, different choices. It's time you want something different, so start move the furniture around different. Buy a different amount of groceries or different groceries, like different foods this week. Start making things different. It doesn't have to be the same. You don't want more of the same. Say no to more of the same.
Yes.
That's what I'm
We are
And
going to
grandma-
go out on the river this weekend. We're going to go tubing for the first time, so that'll be interesting.
That'll
So
be
Good. More first times. More first times. And I do really feel like there is another baby in heaven that would love to come on in. So I do feel like there's another journey involved within that. And so yeah, there's another journey involved within that. It's important though around health to really take care of your health, because I do feel like some stress and everything is going to continue to complicate things for you. So work on your health, your mental health, your physical health. Okay. So there's going to be more of a journey with family coming in. I definitely feel that. And so Kelley, if you'd like to say anything further, if not, we'll move on.
You did amazing. That was great. I felt all that same kind of stuff too. That's great. Yeah.
Definitely spot on with all of it, though.
Well, thank you. You
Thank
did
you.
great, Kelley. That was amazing.
You too,
And that's
Kelley.
exactly why I watch like a lot of these videos all day long, because I feel like-minded with a lot of spiritual people. I just need to find more people locally.
Yeah. At meetup.com. And you look up spiritual events in your area. I love meetup.
I've gone to some like our local events. I just haven't like befriended too many of them besides one.
Found your
one
tribe.
guy that
You got to
has
find your
done
tribe. Yeah. Look
I
up
guess
spiritual events for moms.
there's
So you
that.
find moms.
That's always
the kids, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, I really like that because it's from a different angle, the spiritual events for the moms, because there's going to be like some really bright light kids in there, and then your kids could find, companions to help elevate them, and then you're navigating that with the other moms.
Maybe
I really like that.
Yeah. Create your own meetup group. You can buy little books that tell you. I did this when Aiden was little. He's 17 now, but you can play psychic hide and seek, and they make crystal wands. You buy them all a little crystal, and they tie it on a stick, that they found, or you wire wrap it on a stick for them, and the wand helps them find something that you've hidden around the area outside at the park. And then they use their wand and their intuition to find this item, and there's a prize for the winner. But they're using their intuition. They're out in nature, and they're trying to tune into it using their quartz crystal, which amplifies all of their chakras.
My kids would probably love that. They want to go back to a crystal shop as it is. So
yeah, but it's like a fun game. But it helps them really get in nature and really kind of pay attention to what they're feeling and be more aware of their own. And so maybe you find a group with other moms, and you guys all do this at the park with your kids.
Yeah, nurture help out those little baby mediums out there. Those baby mediums.
Baby
out
mediums.
I was
You'll find
told
the
that
good people in the neighborhood.
my second born would be one day, so we'll see.
I never know, but I think you are a baby or not a baby. You're a medium healer that just hasn't tapped into it all the way yet. You're not ready.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. So
yeah. Well, I wish you the best, and you've got the best job in the world. So just really enjoy and cherish it, because it goes way too fast.
Way too fast, I know. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much, Shay. All right. So, wow,
it's getting late. I've got to get going.
Yeah, it's getting late. So we're gonna say, everyone, thank you for coming on in. Thank you for being patient with us as we were talking and jumping around and going different places. Kelley, where can people find you, and what do you have coming up for people can be a part of locally or online?
Okay. So if you're in the Sacramento area, I have a lot of events happening at my crystal store, not just my events. I have other mediums coming. I have Colby Rebel coming in a week and a half. So definitely go to my website for my crystal store, which is moxiecrystals.com. And I'll put that in my comments, but I don't know if it goes to your pages. But I'm just going to put that here. You can go there to go to my events to look it up. You can also look at my medium, Kelley, and see what I have going on there. They should have the same events, but I'm not perfect. I have our radio show is going to start back up in October, I think. Cheryl and I took a break for the summer, and we'll be starting that up. I have Egypt coming up for anybody who wants to go to Egypt. We're having an informational meeting on August 4th on a Sunday. So you can find out about that on my website, mediumkelley.com. Other than that, most everything I'm focusing on right now is the crystal store and events at the store. And I'm going to be going live a little bit more often than I have been. I've been too busy, but I'm trying to make it in my schedule where I go once a week, so I can kind of re-engage again with society, because I've been so focused on the store.
Yes, yeah.
But thank you so much for having me on, Kelley. It's been, again, I feel like you and I could go on these tangents of talking about amazing things for we could do it for 24 hours straight, probably, if we let ourselves. We'd get tired.
Really could.
We could. And I really appreciate that. I love being around you and on your shows, and I enjoy it. And so thank you for everybody that's participated on the show today and shown up for us, and totally appreciate that. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, like it's very just natural and fun. It's like we were just talking, and then we got away with the energy, and we could have continued to go on with readings, and it's just like okay, and we're here, and it goes by so quick. So thank you, everybody, for being with us. Thank you, Kelley, for sharing your gift and just your candor. I'm sure we'll have you on again. I'll be seeing everybody real soon. You'll see me for the numerology hour later this week. Till then, please, everybody, go with love, light, luck, and don't forget to live. See you in a little bit. Bye.